us all together. Lord, we gather in your name as children of a sovereign God. Forever we proclaim, to God be all glory.
Good morning. How you doing? It's Thursday, September the 11th, 2025. Welcome to episode 439 of the Thinking Theologian as we continue our journey through the scriptures. So today we read Ezekiel chapters 40 through 42. The title of today is The God Who Has a Plan. The focal scripture is in Ezekiel chapter 40, verse 3. And this is what it says. It says, "He brought me there, and I saw a man whose appearance was like bronze, with a linen cord and a measuring rod in his hand. He was standing by the city gate." So I'm not sure about you, but I like having a plan. Sometimes I like having a plan a little too much, and it ruins anything that could be a little spontaneous. Overall, having a plan calms me down because I know what to expect. I can prepare for the next situation, and I can even start preparing for potential problems. So I like to be able to have a plan, what's coming up, what's going on. I like planning things ahead. I try to think of every possible outcome. Obviously, you can't do every outcome, but every main possible outcome that could take place, because it just helps me see and process things. That's how my mind works. And so, again, like I said, having a plan calms me down because it helps me think through things. I get to think through it and go through things. I'm sure about you, but I think through conversations of meetings, of things you're going to have. What are the possible conversations? What directions it can go? Places we're going to go on vacation. Planning things out. Even like this podcast, I'm a week ahead. What you're seeing today was recorded a week before it actually airs, and so I like having a plan. I just like being prepared. So even though I like having a plan, my plans can be wrong, unlike the Lord. So even though I like having plans, I can make bad plans or make wrong plans, but the Lord's plans are never wrong. So my plans can be messed up. His never are, which gets us to the God who has a plan. He knows what he's doing. So in today's reading, it is obvious that the Lord always has a plan when it comes to his people and even the world. Nothing takes him by surprise. Ezekiel is led by the Lord, and he meets a man who looked like bronze and was dressed in fine linen. Now we know this to be the Lord himself. He shows up here. They're having a conversation. He's showing him things he needs to see. But this man, he had a measuring rod in his hand and was about to give very specific measurements of the temple. And he's telling Ezekiel here, this is exactly what I want to happen, how I want it to look, and the details of the information. The plan was being expressed to Ezekiel. The Lord was about to unveil his plan through Ezekiel to the people of the temple. The Lord wasn't to show everyone the detail. The Lord wasn't to show everyone the detail. The Lord wanted to show everybody the detail he had for the place of worship. He wanted them to know that this wasn't just some spontaneous thing, that there's a plan behind this and a purpose behind it. Now, I believe that many times we forget that God is the great designer. He planned the world from its foundation. He planned our lives. He knows what is coming our way and is surprised by nothing. The Lord knows the good and the bad we will face. He knows our success and our heartache. He knows our beginning and our end. Since the Lord, had a detailed plan for the temple, how much more is his plan for our life? This truth should give us comfort. I know some people this kind of stresses them out. They know that the Lord's in control, the Lord's sovereign, the Lord has plans. But this truth should give us comfort. We know that nothing happens without the Master's approval. There are no mistakes, and everything is just as he knew it would happen. Even the bad things that take place, even the things that go on, we can't separate the things. Now, does God do the evil? No. But does God know the evil is going to happen? Yes. And that is really hard for a lot of people, because either he's sovereign or he's not. Either he knows what's going to happen or he doesn't. And so we can't pick and choose what we want about God's character and how he works. So we need to know there are no mistakes in everything, and just as he knew it would happen. He knew what was going to take place. He knows how it's going to happen, and he knows the bigger picture. He sees things different than the rest of us. So our God is the great designer of buildings and lives. And again, kind of comfort that is that he is responsible. I don't have to bear that burden. He does. Be encouraged today, no matter where you find yourself, you are right where God knew you would be today. He's not surprised, and you're right where you need to be. His plans are good and perfect. His plans are for his good and his glory. So just as Ezekiel was comforted by the man in his vision, let us be comforted by the God who who saves and redeems. He is the one who does this. He is the one who saves and redeems. His plans are good and perfect. And so we need to be encouraged by that truth. So as you're going through today, understand that God has a plan. His plans are good. His plans are perfect, even when we don't understand them. His plans are even good when things don't go our way. His plans are good when things do go our way. His plans are good when we don't understand what he's doing. He's always good. His plan is better than any plan we ever could come up with. So again, as I said earlier, I like to plan things out, but I can be wrong and my plans can make mistakes. God's plans are never wrong, but they're always right where they need to be, and he's right on time. God's always on time, and we need to know that. He's not 1 second early, he's not 1 second late. He's right on time, exactly when he needs to be. And so understand we need to trust the plan, we need to trust the process. And as I say that, I think about a coach where people say, trust the process. There are some people I run into, they would trust a football coach more than they trust the God of the universe. They would trust the process over what a coach does, over what the grand designer of the universe can do and how he's involved in our lives. So we need to trust the plan, trust God's process, understand he's in control and how he works. So tomorrow we'll be in Ezekiel chapters 43 through 45. Thank you for being with us today. Have a